University of Florida, IFAS Mid-Florida Research and Education Center, and I'm joined by Dr. David Norman, a plant pathologist. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
What does a plant pathologist like yourself do?
You know, a plant pathologist does a lot of the things that a normal plant pathologist does, but in this case we're working at plant diseases. And we work with bacterial diseases, fungal diseases, and viral diseases.
All right, and in front of us, we have a plant that doesn't look so healthy. So tell me how this would come into your research.
Okay, you know, as a University of Florida professor, we have to do research for growers. But one of the things that the growers bring into us plants in here, and this is one that was brought in from South Florida to our research facility, and it has a fungal disease. We went ahead and diagnosed the disease. We then gave recommendations to them on different control measures, and we also told them a little bit about the life cycle of the pathogen to help control it. For instance, in this case, to restrict water usage would actually benefit and lower the disease, and that was one of the recommendations, along with different pesticides.
So you do the research, and then what you discover really ends up being helpful to these growers as they move forward.
Yes, it is. It's a direct feed from us to them.
Are you involved in any other areas of research?
We're involved in a lot of different areas of research. I'm currently working on some resistance genes in blueberries for disease resistance for the state growers that grow blueberries. I'm also involved in endophytes for the citrus growers. These are small organisms that are beneficial that live in citrus. And in front of us here we have a number of small citrus trees we're working with, which have the endophytes induced at the tissue culture stage.
So what do you hope that this research will ultimately lead to?
Ultimately help with disease control in the citrus production.
Okay. And that's really important in Florida because if I'm correct, our citrus industry has suffered greatly from disease.
Absolutely. They've had a lot of problems over the last few years.
Is there any other research that you're excited about that you're working on?
We're working on the movement of plant pathogens into the U.S. because, as you know, the U.S. imports a lot of plants into the U.S. for sale, and with those plants come diseases. And so we actually monitor diseases as they come into the U.S. and move across the U.S., and we give recommendations how to control or eliminate them.
Do you find this work rewarding, and if so, why?
Yes, it is very rewarding. The most rewarding part of this work is the actual work with growers, where you see that your research is applied immediately and that there's an effect, a positive effect for them in production.
And I would imagine, Dr. Norman, there's never an end to it. You're probably always making new discoveries.
Absolutely correct. We're constantly seeing new pathogens and new problems, and we're having a diversification of plants grown in Florida, which is also increasing our workload and which can benefit to us.
Is there one final question? Is there one project you can think of that means the most to you? Maybe you had a big breakthrough and you'll always remember it.
Probably dealing with bacterial wilt, because it's one of the pathogens that has moved into the state of Florida. It's gotten to vegetable production and blueberry production, and we have been able to do a direct impact for the industry in coming up with different control measures.
This is so fascinating to learn about because, I mean, we all encounter plants every day, but I don't think we realize that how important it is to have people like you doing the research to keep them healthy, help them thrive. We hope this guy gets better.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Norman.
Bye.
Well, so interesting to learn about all the fabulous research that is going on here, and I hope you were enlightened and enjoyed it as well.